Hey guys, I am building some hugelkulture beds and yeah, I have all my material together and um, I wanted to share about the idea behind it and how beneficial it is. Uh, yeah, hugelkulture is really fucking dope. You basically are recycling materials on your property and creating a garden bed out of it. And so things like uh, sticks, branches, dead leaves, grass clippings, any like organic material on your property basically can be thrown in the bed. And yeah, it if you have like a bunch of if you have a bunch of wood on your property, a lot of times people will burn it, but you can actually just bury it in soil and instead of burning it and releasing carbon into the atmosphere, you can subquencher it, uh, and the carbon as the wood breaks down in the soil, the carbon will go into the soil and stay in there, which is really fucking dope. And yeah, so um, um, the two main benefits of it are that the logs produce or the wood produces like long-term nutrients to your garden bed, and you don't have to water it very often. Yeah, because so the first layer is the wood, and yeah, as it breaks down, like I said, it releases nutrients into the soil, and it can release nutrients for up to 20 years, depending on how big you build the beds. And yeah, as the wood decomposes, it acts kind of like a sponge and it absorbs water. So when it rains, it absorbs water, and then when it's dry, the water is slowly released into the soil. So you only need to water it like very little, if at all, which is cool too. And yeah, um, uh, as the wood decomposes, it creates like a warm environment in the soil, and it heats it up, so your plants actually grow faster, and it can extend the growing season because the soil's warmer. And yeah, you're basically like just creating this little ecosystem where uh, that um, that this little ecosystem where fungus and bacteria and insects can thrive, and um, and you don't have to put a lot of energy into it after you build the beds. Yeah, so trying to remember. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess a huge benefit of it, if you are um, building raised beds, at least, is you save a ton of money on soil, and yeah. But so how I am gonna build our beds is The first layer is going to be hardwood, which breaks down much slower and will release nutrients for a much longer period of time. And then put softwoods on top of that, and branches, and dead leaves, which release nutrients a lot quicker. And yeah, and that's all like really carbon rich material. And then after that, the next layer is nitrogen rich material, which actually isn't necessary, but as like the first year that the wood is decomposing, it actually takes a lot of nitrogen out of the soil. So putting that nitrogen-rich layer there actually like jump starts the decomposition process of the wood and helps that happen faster. And then it puts nitrogen into the soil for the plants. Another really good thing to do is to plant like nitrogen-rich plants on it, like peas, and yeah, and then the next layer is compost if you have that, and then soil on top of that, and and then a layer of mulch, which can be hay or wood chips. And the mulch is really great because it also helps retain water, so you don't have to water it very often, and it it suppresses like weed growth, so you'll get a lot less weeds when you have that. And it like encourages, once again, an environment for fungus and microbes and insects to live in. And as it breaks down, it will release nutrients also into the soil. Yeah, and then the beds are no-till, so tilling is actually like really bad. Like you wouldn't till out in nature, you know. And when you till and you rotate the soil, it actually releases nutrients from the soil into the air, so it depletes the nutrients in it. Also, when you till, it exposes deep down seeds, weed seeds, into the air, and which I don't know if it's the oxygen or what in the air that makes them sprout. So you'll get a lot more weeds in your garden if you till it. And it also like destroys the composition of the soil, so it like breaks up the mycelium network and the fungus in there, and can kill and harm beneficial insects. So yeah, yeah, it's just like a really, really awesome method of gardening, where you can recycle stuff on your property that would a lot of people just throw away to the dump, and have like it's really cheap to do it, and it's not free, and it's once like it's really easy. Like, it's really easy to do. I know things that you have a um, uh, when you don't know how to do something, I know it can be like really overwhelming to do it, but it's actually like super easy. And like literally the only two things you actually need are wood and soil. So a lot of people will actually just like dig a hole or dig out the sod or the top layer of soil, and put a mound of sticks on there, and then bury it in the soil that they dug up, which is awesome. Like, the only thing about just doing that is you'll probably have quite a bit of weeds, but that's all you really need. And I just decided to do it, like, do all the steps um, because I just want to have the best results possible. So yeah, yeah, like I was saying, it's really easy, and like it takes a little bit of effort to put it together at first, but it's like a little effort with like a lot of benefits. And yeah, just like using material that would go to the dump, and you can create like this super, super nutrient rich soil, and plant a garden and feed your family and be self-sustaining. And I just like can't recommend it enough. It's super fucking dope. And yeah, so y'all should think about doing it. But I just wanted to show you the materials that I have for my garden. But so this is all the stuff. And so this pile of sticks I got from my friend Sunan, who they had a pile of sticks from trees that fell out of the trees. And I got this pile from my mom's property, and I realized after I like broke up all the sticks that it's black locust tree, which is really slow to decay, and some people say it's toxic, can be toxic for the plants, so it's not smart to use that in a hugelkulture bed. And also black maple, black walnut can be toxic too. But yeah, so I put a post on Homegrown Resiliency, a local group in the Sioux Falls area, and it's super awesome. It's a bunch of people who like are on this group who are trying to take care of each other and have like be like self-sustaining within our community. But yeah, I posted on there looking for branches, and somebody let me come out on their property and get a shit ton of branches, so I'm super grateful for that. And then another woman gave me grass clippings from a yard that has not been sprayed with pesticides, which is right there. But yeah, no, okay, so the sticks and branches, you know, are the first layer, and then I got a bunch of leaves from my brother-in-law and sister that go next, and then the nitrogen-rich materials are going to be the grass clippings and a bunch of celery I dumpster dove. And then oh yeah, first of all, I completely forgot to say this step at all, but since we're not digging into the soil here because it's the yard was sprayed with pesticides last year, and we want to try our best not to have that leach into the garden as much as we can. So I'm putting down a layer of cardboard first to kill the grass and keep any weeds from coming up. And then we got some compost, which isn't necessary. Well, we got compost first of all because our we started composting this year and it's not going to be ready, but it's not super necessary to have it, but we just wanted to give our plants like a little head start, and we're just going to put it around the base of each individual plant. And then my little brother dumpstered out some peat moss, and which is absolutely unnecessary, and it's actually really unsustainable for them to harvest at the rate that they're harvesting it, so it's not really good to support that, I don't think. But it came out of the dumpster and it's not going to hurt anything to add it. And then, of course, hay for the mulching. And yeah, you can also use wood chips. And yeah, I'm just so excited, and I just wanted to share that with all of you. So